Hey guys, JPA Trades here. Hope everyone had a pretty good trading week this week. No, we did pretty well with our SPY calls. The Microsoft we took into earnings didn't work as good, but uh, always a chance of the earnings call. But luckily, we made it back and then some on these last few SPYs. So, gonna be going over in order which we bought. So first we bought the SPY 434 calls for $1, and then next we bought the SPY 428 calls. So I'm just going to be going over what led to decisions to each one of these calls, and then kind of what I saw, what we did, and then let's get to it. So to start out, first one got bought 11:45 p.m. on the 25th. So let's just go to our chart here. This happened right in this depression here, right in that dip. So it actually, we got a little bit lucky by that bottom holding, so we went to buy the double bottom, so right at 420. Everyone's posts like, oh, can't wait for 420.69 to happen again. But these psychological points, these points that get commonly discussed, usually there is activity around them, and it worked out really well that time where it ended up not quite being 420, but a low 418.84, and we bought the time. A lot of these people who go and do the SPY 0 day to expiry puts, I know Kes does a lot, I know other people on Twitter do a lot. You got to be really precise when you get that entry, because a little bit early, a little bit late, and you really kind of get screwed up. And if you want to be putting more capital and you want to be a little bit more safer with your money, I like to just do SPYs that go to the end of the week just from a safety standpoint, and kind of like I like to let my positions sit and not worry about them too much. And then we had a really nice run up all the rest of that afternoon, and that was in anticipation of Microsoft and Amazon. So Kes posted a pretty good link, and I'm just going to steal it. So I had these in my brain, but I didn't write them out. So Kes did a good job here. So Apple, 5.9% of SPY. Microsoft, 5.6%. Amazon, 4.05%. Google and Goog, one's like the different voting shares and classes. So about, let's just call it 4%. So we knew on Monday that reaction was going to happen. So we knew, hey, there's essentially almost 10% of SPYs going to report. You don't really want to be all the way in earnings one way or the other. So we knew right off that double bottom that it wasn't likely that we were going to keep diving down until those earnings happened. And then, as always, people tend to run up into earnings. You tend to get that good return. So we had that little earnings run into the end of the day, had good profits on SPY, ended up selling out for about 165%. I think we got our little meme with it too. Let's see if we can find the quote tweet. Boom, there's the minion. So did another big trim before the close. The last 15% or so didn't work out, but that's kind of how you go. You kind of work your way out, then you let your runners run, and then kind of once you get to the end, you can either sell the whole way out, leave a few left over, whatever you're comfortable with. The opportunity was there that if Microsoft and Amazon had a big beat, you wanted some exposure, but if the beat doesn't happen, you already booked good enough profits that you had nothing to worry about. So that leads us to the next one, which was the calls we bought after hours yesterday. So it seemed like a lot of you guys didn't know that you can buy SPY calls 15 minutes after the close. So this is a pretty useful trick, especially on earnings reactions. So you see here, 410, bought them for 93 cents. So what happened? Yesterday at the close. So we sold off hard into Facebook's earnings because everyone thought they were going to miss. But you saw this massive reaction right away from Facebook on their beat. So you had some time in here, right around here. So you had that initial reaction where everyone said, okay, so we saw Facebook beat. There wasn't any particular rhyme or reason to buy these calls. I mean, it was getting down there, but we bought it like 418. 418 wasn't necessarily the level, wasn't necessarily anything. The news shifted. Everyone was expected to miss. Facebook had a beat. You knew Facebook was going to run hard. So same thing. Back to what the percentage of SPY was. Facebook, there's another 2.3% of SPY. So another major player in SPY was going to start running. So we had that buy 93 cents. The first thing in the morning, we had that nice rip up. Had a chance to lock in some profits for like 85%, 50 to 85%. A lot of people locked in. It was good. I only did a few around 75. Had that sell-off happen, but you already booked your profits. The alert went out first thing in the morning. Make sure you book profits. So I wasn't sweating the down draw. No one was sweating the down draw. I was kind of tempted to buy more calls and do another position, but I was still comfortable with what I had. I hadn't sold a ton. Didn't even get half of my position out. So then we had this rip back up. Sold some more on the rip, and then a lot of people were. I wrote this SPY DD, that 428, 430 area. Why was it important? Well, you saw here, that's where we topped out. So, same again here. So you don't want to be at your calls fighting not only an ER and all this resistance point. You want to make sure you're walking out by those levels. So we took more off today. I took it off around 3.03. It ended up going to 3.75. SPY's sitting 424 after hours, so really good sells. Could have got a little bit more out of it, but very, very happy with what happened. But I guess in summary, what you got to be looking for, one of these SPY plays was just based on the technicals. What happened? We had that double bottom right in here, where it just repeated. So double bottom, always good to try to buy the dip. You knew that there was some news baked in to try. I normally like to do just regular stocks, but with as crazy as all the earnings were this week, the best premium was in the index, and it ended up working really, really well. And then back to the second time, it was a news-driven event. So if you know, I know a lot of traders are, as soon as news breaks, they'll go out and buy something. You have to be really, really quick about it. And it's not necessarily always the pattern I love to play, but we were watching it for a reason, because we just knew the impact Facebook would have being that big portion of SPY. So bought the dip, shot up, not even a dip, kind of just bought the little, it was down and it was starting to go back up, but got on the rocket before it left without us. So it ended up working really, really well, and happy with how it turned out. Really good play. So with that, just wanted to say, hope this helps you guys in your investing and trading ventures. And hey, thanks for all the support you've been showing me on Twitter, on YouTube, pretty much everywhere, really crossing major milestones. Means a lot to me that you guys and girls have always been out there kind of supporting me through everything. And see you next time.